But by the same token, Catalan looking their usual ferocious self on home soil as the players and the crowd join in a minute's applause for the former Tres Catalan player Michel Charcos, who died earlier this week, so tribute being paid to him in Perpignan. To the players' break. Referee for this game in Perpignan is Scott Michalauskas, his video ref Chris Kendall. It's another fine late afternoon in Perpignan. They've been lucky so far this season with their home games in Perpignan. There is referee Michalauskas. Conditions pretty good as they were last week. Normally blowing a gale at this time of the year in Perpignan, but it's about 18 degrees or has been.
Well, they've been lucky with the weather. They've also been lucky with one or two decisions last week that went their favour. And in the end, they got that narrow...
haven't even started yet.
They got the narrow victory, but they know they probably have to be a little bit better here today, because the Salford side, although unfancied, one of the big names of some of the other teams in Super League, is certainly a strong side under Ian Watson.
Well, as Phil mentioned, Salford looking for their first win in 8 visits to Perpignan. They've lost 7 and took part in the highest scoring draw ever in Super League history, 40 points to 40 in 2015. So the weight of history is against the Salford Red Devils. You have to go back to 2006. Well, they've won on 3 occasions, have Salford, in Catalan. The first of those was 2006, when they won 28-22. And there were 2 tries apiece for Aaron Moole and for the Warrington chief executive, as he is now, Carl Fitzpatrick, who also points out that he made a match-winning last-minute try-saving tackle to secure that victory.
Well, I hope we get the same sort of drama here today. We've been treated with some brilliant games in the south of France in recent years, very often high-scoring ones. The last 3 games played last season between these two teams had a total of 140 points. I'm sure we're going to see some spectacular rugby league tries with the skill that both of these squads have.
Well, Evalds dealt with that first kick comfortably. No great pressure on Salford's fullback Lussick, and Salford will just look to settle into this game as Dudson plays the ball. Nothing too flash early on, or maybe they'll surprise us.
Good run by Dudson there. They know they're going to start wide, and they shift it wide with Hastings onto Evalds. And that's Bibby, isn't it?
Whitley with the tackle on Bibby, and Jackson Hastings hoists that kick. That's a good one. Hanging, Tompkins underneath it and goes to ground before anybody can lay a hand on him. Turgott was chasing.
Well, several of this Salford squad played in the team that lost in France last year. In fact, they were embarrassed, 44 points to 10. And that embarrassment, usually for a lot of rugby players the season after, means that you bring some extra determination. We've seen that and shown it in the first few tackles that the Salford side are making.
Here is Sam Moa. The news ahead of this game was that Catalan have signed the 20-year-old prop forward Sam Cassiano, who'll be arriving very soon. A big player, as is this man, Sam Tompkins, looking for some support. The Salford cover is there, doing well as Kenny Edwards was in support. They might not be out of the woods yet. Tompkins puts a little kick in, and it's too strong. 20. Braden Williami was chasing.
Well, an early indication with Smith to Tompkins, that combination, getting on the outside of Robert Louis and the inside of Chris Wellham. I'm sure that's an area that Catalan will work on, focus on exploiting the gap between those two. And with his speed he got through, but the great cover from Salford. The scramble in the defence coaches often talk about, to get by and hold up Kenny Edwards first and then recover with a kick that went through on the last play.
Jackson Hastings doing well there to cover across, as he has done so often since joining Salford last year. Here is Flanagan with the offload, and play continues through the hands from Joey Lussick, but the pass went to ground. And Salford have to just regroup.
Goal 2.
Well, great speed there from McIlroy and Moore.
Quickly up on Flanagan.
They've kept the ball alive.
3.
Up to the halfway line comes Salford. Lussick has a look and decides to go for territory. Deep kick and just too strong.
Well, that's a shame, isn't it, for the Salford side? They wanted to build some pressure, got some field position. The speed with which McIlroy and Moore flew up in the defensive line. I think the Catalan Dragons are not bothered if McIlroy misses a tackle now and again. The threat that he poses, he's almost like a disruptor. Just get up into the opposition's line somehow, and if he can distract them often enough, maybe the ball will fall free, or we can force an error.
Verdiaha with the run for the Catalan Dragons, but stopped in his tracks. And then Jason Baitieri, normally on the bench for the Catalan Dragons, but named in the starting lineup by Steve McNamara.
Well, here's a guy who's sensational last week, Kenny Edwards, and possibly been their best player in 2019 so far. Big threat on the left-hand side.
Casti, try scorer against Warrington last week, was the Catalan Dragons captain, played at loose forward, but Mikel Simon not available, so Casti reverting to the front row. And here is Benjamin Julian now. That's the 5th tackle. And it's with Matty Smith. Once of Salford, Matty Smith. Hoists that kick. Claimed.
Well, I thought one of the features of Catalan's victory, they nearly lost possession, kept alive by Louis to Wellham, was Smith's kicks last week, the best so far this season. Maybe it's taken, I suppose in effect, he had a lot of last season out, wasn't selected a lot of the time at St Helens. Danny Richardson preferred in front of him, and so it's taken Smith a while to get back into it. The ball comes through from Alford, and the referee says that's the first penalty of the game. Sam Moore's hand around the ball, and then Michael McIlroy involved in the tackle. The whole crowd not happy with that decision from the ref.
He did seem to lose it rather than have it stolen, but that was the view of Scott Michalauskas. First penalty of the game goes the way. There is Daryl Alfords, has a good start to the season. He's got 8 tries in his last 8 appearances as the wingman. So Salford in this red and black, predominantly black kit from that penalty. 6 minutes gone. And looking for the first points of this game. Here comes Hastings, always moving. Here's Evans, always moving. Oh, the pass couldn't be taken.
And the footed touch
was down.
Well, this is a big call. I think Salford may be given possession here. Just look how quickly there's a balance in sport between moving up quickly in defence and making sure you've got the ball covered. Catalan didn't quite get it right, but the fortune of the pass there to CO doesn't hit hand. And then you see Lewis Tierney's foot just hits the line. Great spot by the touch judge. And Catalan will be defending the line here now, hoping to prevent the first score of the match.
Eagle-eyed official saw the red boot of Lewis Tierney just hit the whitewash before he could get back in the field of play.
Time off, shot clock off. Don't put the ball in there.
That scrum, a bit of a mess.
Well, look here, Salford, they've got the winger, the left winger's feeding the scrum.
Ball. Out.
And then they've got the creative players, Hastings and Louis, stood out, round and run around. Have they found the space?
They're looking for it. Evans always a threat. Oh, but Daryl Alfords
surrender.
Took that one virtually standing still in the end. Must have maybe an opportunity there. Hastings.
2.
With Jansen Turgott now, about 11 metres out, bang in front of those posts now. Driving the ball in.
Goal line.
With Daniel Murray.
Goal 3.
Lussick appeals. Here is Hastings trying to step, but well read by Tompkins, who made the initial tackle to bring Jackson Hastings down. Louis, ball over the top to Alfords. Alfords, footwork from him, stepping back in field. Louis then drifts across, drops the ball off to Gil Dudson. And the Welsh international drives it toward the line. Tompkins directing his teammates on the try line. They're going for it. Lussick, I think it is.
I've got the ground in.
And that's
the
the first
try is awarded. And the pressure paid off for the Salford Red Devils.
Well, you'd have to say a lapse in concentration from the Dragons there for Jason Baitieri, Kenny Edwards. They weren't set, they weren't low, and on the last play, perhaps expecting a kick, Lussig's gone hard, and he's gone with enough determination to apparently get the ball on the line. The referee's awarded it. No referral to the video referee. And Salford with Ken Seal have a great chance here now, inside the first 10 minutes to be 6-0 up.
Well, a sequence of events there leading to that try, the penalty, and then from that Tierney put a foot in touch, and from that Salford ramped up the pressure, and eventually it was Joey Lussick getting his third try of the season. Now Ken Seo with the goal-kicking duties off the mark with a pretty straightforward conversion.
Well, the guilty here of the Cardinals sin, aren't they? The ball's gone wide, that's what Salford do, they play with width. And Catalan's defensive mindset, he's worried about Hastings, it's worried about Louis on the last tackle. Got to give Gil Dudson a lot of credit. Look at the ground he makes after contact there with 3 defenders around him. People are thinking the ball's going wide for a pass or a kick. Lussick, great leg drive. He gets underneath the defenders, pushes those legs, pumps hard, and gets the ball on the line. Joey
Lussick making his 13th consecutive appearance since joining the Red Devils last summer, has got the first try of the game, converted by Ken Seo, and Salford lead by 6 points to 0 in Perpignan. Dudson, recruited from the Widnes Vikings, making an impact in this game. As well, Josh Jones, for sure, generally makes an impact as the second rower.
Hold, goal 3.
And you can hear the Salford fans at the far end of the ground, not huge in number, but big in voice.
Well, that was well done, wasn't it? They shifted the ball, they've made good ground, they've got their opponents in retreat, and now on the next play, Robert Louis got time and space with which to tease them. Pass out wide to Bibby again.
Hastings spins it out. And Jake Bibby, making his first appearance of the season, is tackled. That's the 5th. And it's Hastings who, again, he looks so nonchalant. A header, I think it was, from Robert Louis. It certainly goes forward off Louis. That'll be the turnover.
Whenever possible, they want to contest for the high kick in the air. They're not just going to wait for the opposition to receive the ball, catch it unchallenged. They want to make a demonstration of skill. Tompkins didn't go near the ball. Luckily for them, Salford made a mistake and they worked their way forward, but great speed again now. I think this has been a fantastic start for Salford to this match.
Flanagan very quickly up on Baitieri, whereas Catalan, well, they haven't really had a chance to get out of the blocks, have they, Dragons?
Well, they had that break, didn't they, with Sam Tompkins when he found Kenny Edwards on the inside, but great cover from Salford at that stage. Sam Moore, very impressive last week against the Warrington Wolves. Over an 80-minute period, repeatedly helps to make ground, take his team forward.
Here is Fuad Yaha now back in the rugby league fold after his short stint with Ajon in rugby union. Here is Kenny Edwards.
Well, he is the hardest man that Catalan have to tackle.
Wait till they've got hold of 6'5" Sam Cassiano then from Melbourne Storm. Matty Smith had a great game against Warrington last time. Hoists that kick. Evalds claims it.
Well, 10. Helped a little bit with some protection. Daryl Alfords still in front of him. Here now is Alfords running it forward. So to get 12-15 minutes in a match, you see people aren't moving as quick as they were. It's very hard to run at the pace they have. It's been a very quick game. It's the test now of the stamina that kicks in. We've seen the strength with the runs and the carries.
Well, Salford have travelled, or did travel early for this one. They arrived in southwest France on Thursday, in fact. So they had all Friday to train, just to relax, get ready for the game. And they look in the mood for it.
And Josh Jones looks in the mood to have a great season. He's been fantastic with his opening games. Arguably Salford's best player.
Louis under no great pressure there, putting that kick in. Kenny Edwards, fairly nonchalant effort to close him down. Catalan just looking a little bit slow out of the blocks at the moment.
Well, it is an 80-minute game, and pacing yourself over that time is is one of the things that teams have to do, is Matt Whitley.
Whitley switched into the centres by Steve McNamara because of these injuries he's got. Tony Gigot, the big absentee with that knee problem. Casti caught one in the face there, I think, with the Catalan captain.
Daniel Murray just puts the right arm in front of his face. Again, played on him when on the last tackle. Smith again, given the responsibility. Where does he put it? Hard and low.
Just drills that kick down the sidelines, and Evalds having nothing to do with it.
Oh, look, shot clock on.
Well, Salford, you think they are ahead? Will be happy here. Niall Evalds wanting to get his team back in. Take a look here at Josh Jones' run. He does bump and spin. He sort of can hit reverse, back out of the tackle, find another line to run at, another defender to torment. Players breathing heavily.
Salford looking to erase the memory of their last visit to Perpignan last July when they were beaten 44-10. Fouad Yaha equalled the club record for Catalan that day with 4 tries. Salford don't look in the mood to suffer a repeat of that. Jackson Hastings.
That's helped them, hasn't it, with Ken Seo. Scored some great tries and made lots of important ground for the team this year.
Robert Louis now. Here is Evalds, and Evalds looked to get the pass away, then held on to it. And Daryl Olferts now. Olferts. Robert Louis spins the ball across. Hastings links with Josh Jones. And Hastings' little kick. Lewis Tierney back to gather, but good chase.
Well, Salford's strategy of moving the ball inside their own half, really trying to stretch what is a compacted Catalan defence and get on the outside of them, has been effective so far in the game. Oh, it's an effective tackling technique from Jake Bibby. Penalty conceded to Matt Whitley.
The Dragons' first penalty of this game.
Well, it is a big test for Jake Bibby playing centres. Niall Evalds on the other side, chiming again between the defenders. Jake Bibby, more often than not, has played on the wing. We've seen him score some brilliant tries for the Salford side, but has to play left centre today. Make some important decisions in defence.
Here's Benjamin Julien now then, just inside their own half of the Catalan Dragons. Casti. Dudson among the tacklers. Josh Jones there as well. Matty Smith. Here is Tompkins now. Tompkins to Braden Williami. Got to keep an eye on him. Fijian international in great form. Samoa.
Hold.
McAlorum. Here's Matty Smith. Quick hands. Samisoni Langi, we've hardly seen him so far in this game.
Hold.
Not a great pass. Tierney had to pick it up off his toes. That's the last tackle we're on, and Tompkins under pressure gets the kick away and very well claimed.
A great catch there from the right winger for Salford. Daryl Olferts. The bodies around, came in, looked supremely confident. And you'd have to say, in the attack that Catalan had before this, the timing of the runs, the passing, the attempt to distract and commit Salford defenders just wasn't good enough yet.
Louis struggling to get to his feet. Dudson, another good strong run from the former Wigan man. Lussick gets the pass away despite the pressure from McAlorum. Tompkins traps it and then runs it back. Brought down by Hastings. Josh Jones there to mop up. Samisoni Langi now.
Well, that's a good run, isn't it? An important one there. They just thought for a moment Salford had Catalan trapped in their own half, but one good run of 10 metres, and all of a sudden it looks like the set's changed. Brilliant offload from Whitley.
Whitley gets McAlorum away, going across the field and running into the arms of Niall Evalds. 3 tackles gone this set of 6. A bit of urgency from the Catalan Dragons. The pass goes forward to Fouad Yaha. He'll have to come back.
Well, that's a shame for Catalan, but again, another example. Their attack just not quite fluent enough. Kenny Edwards tries to catch and pass in one movement, but it was always going to go forward. Chris Wellham will be relieved there, as he knows his side of the field is going to repeatedly target with that Kenny Edwards focus that the Catalan Dragons have.
And then 10 boys.
So head and feed to Salford.
17, 16. Simon's get his head in, all right, mate.
Who've started well here. They hold a 6-0 lead. That Joey Lussick try early on.
Shot clock off. Out!
Plus Ken Seo's conversion. 6-0 for the away day specialists. Salford early days. They've only made 2 trips, but they were successful on both of them this season in the Betfred Super League.
Nice width again. If you just look at the hooker for Salford, Lussick, number 14, the width with which he finds that first pass, it does really stretch the Catalan defenders.
That pass under the noses of the Catalan supporters, and they thought it was forward. McIlorum with the tackle, and then it's Robert Louis hoisting the kick. It's a good one, and Tompkins gets away from the on-rushing Jackson Hastings.
Just look how compressed all those black shirts are. The left winger's almost underneath the goalpost at that point there. Turning the ball over 5 metres from the opponent's line. We'll see that as a positive end to the set. We and coaches say, oh, we didn't end our sets well. Well, that was an example of them doing it well.
Sam Moa. Oh! In collision there.
He's a rugby league bowling ball, isn't he? He just skittles them out of the way.
Julian juggles with that pass. Now here comes Matt Whitley. Socks round his ankles. He looks very similar in his running style, his playing style to the former Dragon and now in the NRL, Elliot Whitehead, who had such a great career with the Dragons before moving to the NRL. Whitley showing up well since his move from the Widnes Vikings.
I agree, Bill. I think he really does have the spark.
Huddersfield against St Helens coming up next Thursday. Sky Sports Arena. The Giants will be going into that one full of confidence after their win at Wigan against the leaders Saints. And Warrington take on the Wigan Warriors on Friday, 7 o'clock, Sky Sports Arena for that one as well. So 2 tasty-looking games to come next week here on Sky Sports. Oh, he couldn't keep it, Turgett. Tried, but it just got away from him.
That almost feels like the first error from Salford, whether it's a fatigue one there or whether the unexpected pizzazz. Flanagan does well because they've created 3 attackers, just 2 defenders on that short side then there for the Catalan Dragons, but if the pass can't find the man, it doesn't count.
Not until I tell you to, Matty. Not until I tell you to.
Home supporters who were still, I guess, from what I hear, celebrating the memory of winning at Wembley last year. Still a buzz around the town and the team for what they did. Rejuvenated rugby league in many parts around Perpignan. But to do it even further now, with that interest, they need some more wins.
Well, if they want to figure in the top 5 in Super League this season, they've got to find some consistency. And Gil Dudson penalised there. It's too long. Referee Michalauskas tells the Welsh front rower.
Well, the Dragons have had to wait now for over 20 minutes for this brilliant. This is a first set here now where they're starting deep within their opponent's half. And it's a test to see how good their attack can be.
It's a test to see how good Salford's defence can be. As Edwards takes it in for the first hit up. And here is Sam Moa now, motoring. And they bring him down.
Goal line, nailed!
They're back on their own goal line. Referee Michalauskas barking out instructions. Edwards has lost that ball, and Wellham picks it up, and Salford have survived.
Well, you're right, Bill. If it's a competition between attack and defence, the defence is the clear winner there. They stopped them scoring and come up with possession, only three players into 6. As Alfords now skips on the outside, they're not afraid here now to stretch this Catalan defence.
Biddy, and he gets the penalty. Catalan penalised. Trying to slow things down there.
All on side.
Well, he wanted to kick it quickly, but the referee said no, slow it down. I'm not quite sure the benefit there, but he's lost the ball. Wellham's the first to pick it up. And from a position where they might have either had a repeat set or been celebrating a try, now back in their own half, being teased by Josh Jones as he skips away from one defender.
Move! Remy!
Casti all over him.
One.
Could have been penalised. It was by Thierry, in actual fact, who was taking his time.
Move, Sam! Hold.
Here is Dudson. Strong opening quarter from Gil Dudson for the Red Devils. Short ball, and they're bang in front of those posts of the Salford Red Devils. Here is Lussick, here is Jackson Hastings. Hastings, short pass. Josh Jones. Well, to be fair, he did get man and ball at the same time there, didn't he? And the man was Samisoni Langi.
And Matt Whitley cut him in two.
But they come again with Flanagan, and Flanagan, he's done that a lot so far in this game. The back of the hand offload, and here is Niall Evalds, scampering run from him, but Wellham is quickly closed down. Fuad Yaha very quickly up to make that tackle, and Robert Louis hoists the ball, cross field, Tierney underneath it.
One. Move, Jake!
And Jake Bibby just waits for his moment and makes the tackle. Here's Benjamin Julien, but again, great work from Salford. Look how quick they were off the line there.
Well, sometimes we hear about coaches or fans talking about the team. Are they up for it? Well, this is a test of whether you're up for it. Do you want the ball here now when the defenders are charging forward 20 or so minutes into the match? A fresh pair of legs like Julian Busquet certainly helps.
Busquet back in the side, having missed the last two games, so he'll be refreshed.
Move back 10, Joey!
Bring some go forward to this Catalan Dragons side. Samisoni Langi launches that ball downfield, but straight into the arms of Niall Evalds.
Well, the two wingers and fullback have looked impressive for Salford. 20 plus minutes under the kicks, getting themselves involved, making ground, carrying meters and playing the ball quickly.
Move, Sam! Julian, back!
Ian Watson, Martin Gleeson were delighted with how they're going again. Wide pass there from the hooker to Robert Louis.
Alfords cuts back in field, weaves his way through. He really has looked good at the start of this season as Daryl Alfords.
Well done.
And Salford looking good here.
Goal 4.
George Griffin into the action. Josh Jones gets the pass away to Jake Bibby, the 22-year-old.
Hold, Julian! Goal 5.
That's the fifth tackle, and Jackson Hastings again hoists it. Tompkins comes for it, loses it, and Salford will get it back.
Move!
Don't know what Sam Tompkins was complaining about there.
This will be a penalty. Michael McElhone, the team to be offside. That's the square there as the marker. Maybe it gives time here. Sam Tompkins saying, no, I didn't knock on, but
offside, fellas.
Salford have a chance perhaps to go to 8-0.
Was that possibly a decision to concede the two instead of
I don't think
damage?
so. I think McElhone, again, he wants to put the opposition under pressure when they have the ball. I think he prefers defending than attacking. He just loves the competitive nature of trying to stop the opponent or win possession back off them, and he tried to get his arm around quickly, knock the ball free, knock it down, close that play up. Did it too quickly according to the referee. So we see Ken Seo, one of 3 goal kickers that Salford have used this year, with Lussick and Hastings as well. Don't forget, the Catalan Dragons won last week when they, scored less tries than Warrington. 2 penalty goals that Catalan took last week, one in the first half, one right near the end of the game. It's probably the difference. Those extra 4 points they picked up from the penalties helped them to put 2 more points on their league ladder.
So Ken Seo looking for his second success of this game with the boots. 2 from 2 he's hoping, and extending Salford's lead here.
Here's the high kick again. Salford contest it whenever possible. This time it's Louis, sometimes it's Hastings. They make sure whoever hasn't kicked it, it's their responsibility to contest it. And then we see Michael McElhone stood at marker. On the next play, went round, referee said offside. And there's a reason. I think Salford are fully deserved to be 8-0 in front.
Salford 8-0 up, long way to go.
Okay.
And as we've mentioned, the weight of history against them. Catalan have won 9 of 13 home Super League meetings with Salford.
All side, boys. When you're ready,
And
Sam.
the Red Devils haven't won at the Stade Gilbert Brutus for 8 years, March 2011. And their hero that day was a current Catalan player, Jody Broughton, who
Hold.
is injured and out for a while. He got 4 tries on that occasion, but 2011.
Well, the absence of Jody Broughton and David Mead and Tony Gigot is probably one of the problems that Catalan Dragons face. I am not sure they've got enough try scorers out there to they need some more players to start getting across the try line.
Yes, Braden Williami is their top try scorer with 3. So they do have a problem at the moment converting pressure into points. The Catalan Dragons at the moment, they are under pressure because Salford are playing with real confidence and panache as well.
Well, that was good play, wasn't it? Where Hastings took the tackle, then Louis was given the chance, but knew he'd been closed down. And back the skill of Mark Flanagan to put the kick downfield.
Back, Joey.
The crowd at the Brutus baying for a penalty from referee Michalauskas.
Well, Catalan need an injection of something, and Bird and Mikhail Gudemon, who just come on and carried the last ball, played it. Perhaps this is injection, you know, almost half an hour into the game. 2 fresh players.
Okay.
Whitley gets the pass away. Julien to Samasoni Langi.
Surrender. Stand
But
by.
Jackson Hastings makes the tackle, and Salford keeping their cool. Julien puts the kick in, and Evalds is going to have to concede the goal line dropout.
All up.
A great piece of skill there. Greg Bird, another option now. It isn't just one side of the field. They've gone Bird. He's then back the pass. And a fantastic little kick there from Benjamin Julien. You know, they've had 6 goal line dropouts already this season, but haven't scored a single try from any of them. It'll be a brilliant time for them and the supporters here now if they could get across the line in these 6 plays.
10 seconds.
The shot clock just in the background there.
Okay, Joey, shot clock off.
And Scott Michalauskas says we're back in business. And here comes Busquet. Good strong run from Julien Busquet. Almost took Greg Burke with him. Gudemont.
2. Move, George.
Appealing to the referee. Samasoni Langi skips away from the first challenge from Jake Bibby, but he's then closed down by Jackson Hastings. Here is Matty Smith. Smith gets the pass away to Bird. Bird back in action after a lengthy absence, making his first appearance of the season as the 35-year-old. And here comes Busquet, but that's good defence on their own line.
Is that Josh Jones? It is. He got underneath Busquet, a very difficult stop on the last play.
And they turned him over. They just slowed things down even more. Tompkins goes for it. Williami's pass goes sailing out of play. Tompkins is furious. Fuad Yaha bemused.
Sort that out.
And if Williami had connected with his wingman, I think he would have been in then, Fuad Yaha.
Well, it's the same for every sport. You've got to convert your chances. And here's a golden one that Catalan miss. I'm not sure whether you blame the winger for being too far forward or the centre for an inaccurate pass. But it was a golden chance and they've had to wait a long time for it.
Well, Salford, for their part, defended well there. Once again, Kumbuwai is on for them.
3. Move, Ben.
3 tackles gone.
Julio, goal 3.
This is George Griffin, isn't it now? Maybe the
Goal 4, good.
table and the pitch just tilt a little bit more in Catalan's favour. They're not making the ground as Turgid. Oh, he does. Bumps away Smith. Gets in the second time.
5, move, Kenner.
Good work from the former Hull man, Jansen Turgid. There's another one. Former Hull man, Chris Wellham, Kingston Rovers.
Okay.
Sam Tompkins claims that kick. Talking of Hull Kingston Rovers, we'll see the Robins against the Catalan Dragons. That's 2:55 on Sky Sports Arena next Sunday. Part of a doubleheader, followed by Toronto Wolfpack against the Batley Bulldogs. Fuad Yaha didn't like something that went on there. That's at 5 o'clock on Sky Sports Arena.
Get away,
And a little tete-a-tete.
Sam, go that way, I've got it there, okay. Come on.
Sam Tompkins in the thick of it, in the embrace of Robert Louis.
Time off. I've got it, Pete. Go that way.
Well, the referee's got a difficult task at the best of times here now. He's pulling both captains out. Or two players. He's already blown his whistle for the penalty.
Joey? Yeah? You need to clear the ruck, get out of there, all right? Penalty's going against you, I don't want the afters. Okay, talk to your players. I don't want the lads running in, okay?
Jackson Hastings laying down the law after Scott Mikolauskas just gives a warning to Joey Lussick.
Well, Salford's discipline have been great up to this point. But another penalty invites Catalan to show us what they can do in attack. They've wasted some chances. Can't waste them.
Oh, that was forward. Referee well positioned. Busquet thought he was away, but it was a long way forward. And they're really not firing on all cylinders.
It is a shame because that's a great play, isn't it? To get one forward, passing to another. Gudemon, who's on as a sub, to another substitute. The timing may have been wrong, but the idea was brilliant. He's run into a fantastic gap, Busquet, and it would have been a heck of a challenge for Niall Evans to stop the big fella then from that distance.
On this 10, boys.
As it is, the loss of the possession early in the set of 6 tackles again inside the opponent's half.
Okay, shot clock off, Sam. Out!
Half an hour just over gone at the start. Gilbert Brutus in Perpignan, and Salford, the visitors, lead by 8 points to 0.
2. Move, Julian!
And they really have looked very comfortable for the most part in this contest.
Hold. Go,
Here is Josh Jones on the halfway line.
Help!
Referee calls held.
Go 4.
Lussick, Griffin, and Nakumbawai, the Fijian international, who will be 23 next Saturday. Ben Nakumbawai, and Louis hoists a big kick. Tompkins is underneath it.
The great kicks, though. The distance, the 2 or 3 metres just short of the try line. Obviously, if it goes over the try line, the fullback catches it. It's attack restart on the 20, but the length of the kick is fantastic. The accuracy of the field kicks, a significant factor in the reason why they're 8-0 up.
3. Move, Jetson!
Mikhail Gudemon celebrating his 23rd birthday today, hoping that among his presents will be a victory. Referee had called held, so Greg Bird will play the ball. At the moment, though, it looks as though Salford might have the wherewithal to poop Mikhail Gudemon's party. Long way to go in this game. 8-0, only the lead. That's the 5th tackle, and inside their own half as Samisoni Langi gets the kick away, but straight into the arms of Ken Seo. It is.
Come on, lads, with me. Got one, good.
And dealing really well, Salford, with whatever so far Catalan can throw at them.
They've almost been first to the ball on every occasion, haven't they? If you sum it up like that, whether it be an attack or defensive situation.
3. Move, Kenny! Hold.
The introduction of the subs, though, for Catalan, I think it's given them a bit of a lift. Greg Bird, Gudemon, and Busquet. So it's had to make some ground. The referee blows his whistle. This will be another penalty.
Contact.
Yeah, Benjamin Julien. That always looked likely in that tackle.
Okay.
Salford given a great chance here now. Hastings, he loves to play the game quickly. Ball's out. They want it back in here now.
Come on.
Half-time approaching. This is the kick from
well, it's a clear tackle, isn't it?
Samisoni Langi.
Uses both arms. Lussick gets both arms around him. I don't think it's late. Catalan can't be late with the defence here. Nakumbuwai gets him into what a lot of teams like to be in the middle of the field, 10 metres from the post.
Lusick looks left, where Robert Louis is positioned. Louis gets the pass away, and they'll get a second try for George Griffin this time. And once again, the Dragons have paid the price, and Salford have taken full advantage.
Well, that's what Robbie Louis does at his best. Commits defenders, and he delays the pass to the point of which you're unsure which player's going to get the ball. It's not the strongest tackle to pull him down, and you need a strong tackle to stop George Griffin. The Salford fans who've gone over there, well, they're a very faithful bunch, and they can't believe here now as the half-time hoot is approaching that they've got a commanding lead now in this game. They're in a strong position. They've got a challenge here now for Ken Seo to convert. 10 metres in from the side. This would give them a 14-0 lead. And that's a real worry now for the Catalan Dragons. The only 2 games they've won this year, the Dragons have been ahead at half-time in both of those. It's to be a test for Steve McNamara and his team. Can they fight their way back from behind?
That's 1 minute.
George Griffin then with his first try of the season. Back in the side today, Griffin, having been injured in the warm-up against St Helens. And Ken Seo with that conversion. Dinked over. This was the try.
Well, he teases players, Robert Louis, and then he actually waits to see where Samisoni Langi goes, puts the pass to Griffin and says, listen, use all that power that you've been working on during winter in the gym, running the hills, power through the defence and make sure you put that ball down.
So really accomplished first half performance from the Salford Red Devils. Hardly put a foot wrong, Ian Watson's team. Greg Burke into the embrace of Julian Busquet. And here's the try scorer. George Griffin, he got a try against the Catalan Dragons at Magic last year. They were on the losing end that day for the Salford Red Devils. Here, they lead by 14 points to 0. And Robert Louis, well, eventually the referee penalises Salford for obstruction.
Well, he had so many option runs, hasn't he, which holds the defence back. There's a chance here, there's a glimmer. We're in the last few seconds of this first half. And Catalan need to play quickly here if they want to put some points on the board.
They're going to have to get a wriggle on. Here is Michael Gudemon, the birthday boy. Busquet offloads, Burke does well, wraps up Sam Moa before Moa can move that ball on. Last few seconds, Matty Smith, Tompkins fires the pass, and Kensio swoops it up, gives it to Jackson Hastings, and Salford will counter, and Jackson Hastings belts that ball downfield. Kensio will chase it, and he will get Willie. Oh no, he's taken out, but the follow-up by Jake Bibby, and Scott Mikolauskas, the referee, says to his video ref, please, Chris Kendall, sort that lot out, will you?
I've got no tackle. Can you check for the merits of a penalty try?
Well, he's not awarded a try. You can clearly hear what he said. He's considering here now a penalty try. The kick goes through from Hastings, and it's a clear race between Seo and Langi, shoulder to shoulder. Now then, is that the tackle that he thinks, or the push on the back from Tierney? I'm unsure which of the two. I think there's a try anyway by Niall Evals. Oh, sorry, Jake Bibby, I apologise. I think he scores, he grounds that clearly. One end to the other, and the attempted pick up here, that's brilliant skill from Ken Seo. Scoops it up with his right hand, finds a player in support, and he's onside in my opinion as that kick goes through. They didn't freeze frame it to check. Langian here involved in a collision, and Bibby's the first to it, ahead of anybody from the Catalan Dragons. What an amazing score this would be just before the hooter. All the pressure now on the video referee.
Oh, he's gone over the top of it.
I think there's contact with the ball and the ball's on the floor, but I guess that's just my opinion. The important one's a man sitting, communicating with the referee, watching this monitor now to determine, is this grounded? I mean, there's still the opportunity, Bill, for a penalty try. After that's what we heard the referee ask the video referee. I think with my eyesight, failing eyesight I should say, I think that's grounded.
Well, Jake Bibby claimed it. He was convinced he'd got a touch to that. This is the push from Lewis Tierney. CO, to be fair, not sure whether he would have got that ball. He was going beyond it. From that angle, it looks as though he's got hands on it.
Well, at the very least, it's a penalty, but I think it'll be a try.
Well, we talked about Catalan needing something before the break. It could be Salford who've got it. They have. A remarkable try. Catalan desperately trying to get points on the board before the hooter sounded, find themselves at the other end of the field, conceding a try. Delirium among these Salford supporters at that end of the ground. And Jake Bibby has got his first try of the season in pretty bizarre circumstances. And it was the quick thinking, it was the pickup from Ken CO more than anything. And then Hastings with the kick.
Well, good teams convert the chances. Salford have converted a Catalan chance. From one end of the field in defence, they had enough bodies in enough place to close down that play. What a boost this will be here now if Ken CO convert this. It's a more difficult one. He's had a long time though for his heart rate to come down. Focus on the job.
2 from 2 from CO, just hits the post. Looks a bit disappointed, but there's not a lot for Salford to be disappointed after that first half. Rounded off by that great breakout try from Jake Bibby. And Salford looked businesslike when they arrived at the ground, and they have been businesslike throughout the game so far, and that's why they are in charge at the break.
Shoulder into the ribs and then leg drive from that point.
I'd like a bar of chocolate, please. It's for my mum.
Your change.
Happy birthday, Mum.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
I'm here to get one of those incredible money-saving offers you do for new car insurance customers.
Hang on. I know you. You're a new existing customer.
Existing customer.
Why can't we all just be treated the same?
The best prices shouldn't only be for new customers. With Aviva Plus at your next car or home renewal, you'll get the same price or better than if you were a new Aviva Plus customer.
Killer spreadsheets presented somewhere in Newcastle. Spoilt rotten at Auntie Jean's. And battles reenacted in a lovely little park in York. Watch up. This is us. These are our journeys. This is our LNER.
Bet365 is the world's favourite online betting company for many reasons. Match live, instant alerts, and a number of events we stream. Over the years, Bet365 has welcomed more than 32 million members worldwide. And please, gamble responsibly.
I'm all over the shop, Kev. Can't always be on top of my game.
Who says he care?
You're on EE, right?
Of course.
So you've been on the UK's best network 5 years running. Most reliable network, too.
I feel unstoppable.
Don't forget, unbeatable 4G coverage. Nice shot. You're on the winning team.
Best of 5?
Wish I'd never mentioned it.
The UK's best network, 5 years running. Who says you can't?
Only Sky Cinema customers can see Serenity in their homes on the same day as it's released in cinemas.
Good to see you, John. My husband is joining me here tomorrow. I will give you $10 million to take him out on your boat and drop him in the ocean for the sharks.
Serenity, in cinemas and on Sky Cinema now.
Join us live from the least explored waters on Earth. Deep Ocean Live on Sky News and Sky Atlantic.
Now available on demand.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
Game of Thrones, every episode available now with the ultimate on-demand pack.
We've got to grind the team down.
Some great live football action to look forward to on Sky Sports tomorrow from the Championship. The Midlands Derby as Birmingham take on Aston Villa, 11:30 a.m. for that.
On the back foot and under pressure from the very start of this match. The Red Devils have been the first to everything, and here, after a break by Evans, Lewis Tini unfortunately puts his foot onto the touchline here. He's trapped him from this scrum, this field position on the very last tackle. The Dragons are perhaps worrying about other players than the one closest to the ball, and it's a great effort there from Joey Lussick to recognise, react and dive over the line from close range. Brave play from him, that got them ahead, 6 points to 0 at that stage. Benjamin Julian puts a decent kick in here. The goal line dropout gave the Dragons their chance to attack at the right end of the field, but it was a wasted one of several really. Ball goes wide and Braden Williams is passed to his winger. Well, it almost goes direct to the touch judge, out of play. Forward pass on another attack, this time to Julien Busquet. They've wasted chances, and then we see George Griffin. Well, you need shoulders, not tackle. You need shoulders, not arms, just to tackle or to stop GG. And Benjamin Julian will know that in future. He breaks through the tackle and got them into a commanding lead until we get to the half-time. This is a wonderful pickup and a piece of skill. And when I say that the Salford side have been the first to the loose ball, this is a perfect example of it. Keep your eyes on the screen here. That Jake Bibby in the black shirt, there's two other white shirts around him here by the time we get to it. But look who's the first to react. It's Bibby, and it's an important try just before the break. Towed on by CO. Tierney tries everything at full marks for his determination, but it's Jake Bibby who's the first to pounce on this and put his team into an 18-point lead.
Well, last season, Salford won only one of their 11 away matches in Super League. Here they are, 18-0 up at half-time and looking for their third away win of this season. They won at Huddersfield, they've won at Hull Kingston Rovers. They lead at half-time in Perpignan by 18 points to 0. They're not home and dry yet. We can surely expect some sort of comeback from the Catalan Dragons. But Salford have had the upper hand so far. Can they maintain their grip on this game or can the Dragons find a way back?
Brown misses it. Gelling over the top.
It was very unusual. They could have taken anything, but they only took the Jamison. Nothing else. Why? Taste. That's why.
Have you seen her? So slow.
Millennials, useless.
Sounds like a perfectionist to me.
Always run for someone like that here.
Resilience.
We need that.
Patience. Always welcome.
Your heart beats like an engine, a 1-horsepower engine, but magical lucky shoes are nailed to your feet. So when that gun is fired, you run. If you see a jump, you jump.
And you do not drop your driver.
He's a very burly man. You cannot lose. I'm backing you to win by a length, or at least a width.
Don't bet silly, bet savvy.
So you think you know your horses? Here's your chance to prove it. Play for free and you could win £100,000 in cash. The smart money's on Coral.
My name is Liv. I'm a virtual ambassador for Renault Kadjar, created to experience real emotions, to explore, to feel. Strong, powerful. While everyone is trying to live in the virtual world, I'm making it in the real one. You should try it. Get into the real world with new Renault Kadjar from only £199 a month.
To do. You have no clue what I'm capable of. You will soon find out.
Whoa. I'm fine. I'm cool.
Now's the time to leap into the ultimate hand-picked collection of leading ladies. Sky Cinema Wonder Women, available now.
The non-stop action of the Sky Bet Championship continues, live on Sky Sports Football.
That was an absolute wicked kick, that. The straight run. Judge Benton.
Goodness gracious me!
That's extraordinary attacking footy. What a play. Here they come. Wow, how pretty is that? That is unbelievable.
Sky Sports live coverage from the NRL starts next week on Thursday. Melbourne Storm against the Brisbane Broncos is our first offering. 8:45 a.m. on Sky Sports Arena. On Friday, same time, same channel for the Roosters against the Rabbitohs. And on Sunday, 7:05 a.m. again on Sky Sports Arena for the Titans against the Raiders. So 3 big games to look forward to from the NRL coming up here on Sky Sports. Second half coming up from the Stade Gilbert Brutus in Perpignan, and it's a pretty subdued Brutus. Well, subdued from the French point of view. Joyous for the Salford Red Devils contingent on that left end of the ground, because their side are leading by 18 points to nil. Lussick, Griffin, Bibby, the try scorers. Ken Seo with 3 successes from 4. giving the Catalan Dragons something to do in the second half. How are they going to turn this round?
We've got to certainly try and convert the chances. They've had several occasions where they've attacked Salford inside their own half, but have really looked almost like it was a training run. There was chain passing out wide. They didn't commit any of the defenders. The passes were too distant from them, so they really do need to dramatically change things. It'll be fascinating what their mindset is now. 14 points to nil, they were clearly outplayed, but that last 4 points just before the hooter puts them under extra pressure here at home. Had a great win last week, but bouncing back and winning here from what seems like a losing position is a massive test now for Sam Tompkins and co.
Meanwhile, Salford looking to maintain this great run of away form.
Can you hear me, Matt?
Robert Louis with a little word. Greg Bird with things to think about. The 35-year-old back in the side for his first appearance of the season. And Catalan get the second half underway. It is Robert Louis in possession, and then Ben Nakumbawai runs into the tackle from Gudemond and Edwards.
Go on, good.
One thing that Catalan will have to do will be improve their discipline. They gave away a lot of penalties in that first half.
Yeah, there's a fine line, isn't it? We've been playing aggressive and playing within the rules. This is something Salford have done inside their own half, passing the ball wide, and it's a through to Bibby again.
Evans to Bibby. Hastings is on the inside. They had a brilliant end to the first half. They're going to get a brilliant start to the second, and it's Bibby again. Unbelievable from Salford. What a start to this second half. Jake Bibby ended it with a try. He's begun the second with a try.
Well, this is a tactic that they used early in the first half. They've done it again in the second, and boy, oh boy, it's pulled up what might be a contender for try of the season so far, at least. Look at that. I love to see long-range tries, teams attempting to attack from in their own half. The element of surprise has caught out the Catalan Dragons, and that element of speed and skill that Salford have has embarrassed them even more.
Tierney, hands on his knees. Greg Bird asking the questions of the Catalan side as they gather to watch another Salford conversion. Well, Salford playing with the sort of flair that, funnily enough, they are associated with in France.
Well, we haven't seen it from the French team, or I haven't seen it from the French team for some time, and that's fantastic to see from Ian Watson, Martin Gleeson, even with an 18-point lead, which might even be extended with the way Ken Seo's kicking it is. Now that's 24 points. Even with that sort of lead, they're still willing to attack. They don't want to just complete the sets and kick it long. It's a great offload. And then this is great composure. I wondered whether Jake Bibby was a winger or a centre. He's demonstrated the composure of a centre there to interplay with Hastings, get the ball back and get his side even further ahead on the scoreboard. I don't know if they're going to have enough beverage within the stadium here for these Salford supporters at present.
24-0. Salford Red Devils lead in Perpignan. It has stunned the crowd at the Stade Gilbert Brutus, who this time last week were watching their side lower the colours of the Warrington Wolves. The tables have been turned on them here with an inspired performance from this Salford side. And they are just absolutely rampant at the moment to the Red Devils.
Well, breaking through, Daryl Alfort's again breaking through tackles. Josh Jones, there's so much confidence now. I think the experience of Hastings and Louis, if the rest of the side can perform and follow their lead, got a great chance of upsetting a few teams this year. The way they've played, aggression and control in the defence, and great skill and speed when they've had to attack.
Burke on to Robert Louis. And Catalan retreating again as Jansen Turgid plays the ball, and Robert Louis hoists the kick. Tompkins underneath that one. And immediately pounced on by Chris Wellham. But even though they're 24-0 up and in control of this game, there is no let-up from Salford. So quick up on their man there, on the opposition player. They were just so quick on Fuad Yaha. Nowhere for him to go.
It must feel like Rugby League Groundhog Day for the Catalan Dragons, and Sam Tompkins, whenever he receives the ball, he's inside his own 10-metre line to start a set. Not a lot of fun. Defenders around him. 90 metres to go, and Greg Bird, well, he reduces that 90-metre deficit, takes his team up to halfway.
Matty Smith thumps that kick way downfield. Alfords has sent it backwards towards his own try line. Fortunately for the wingman.
Question now of how deep are the Catalan Dragons players prepared to dig here now to get themselves out of this. They're going to have to involve a lot of sacrifice, massive effort here now physically. We'll see just how determined they are now to press up in defence. Look again. Feels like sevens rugby now for Salford, the way they're moving the ball around.
Kenny Edwards with the tackle on Robert Louis. Turgut, who was part of the Turkish side, in fact captained their side in the Emerging Nations tournament in Australia last year. Here is Jackson Hastings, floats that ball out wide, and it's Bibby again doing the damage. Oh, and Evans couldn't take the pass. He kicks it on, and Hastings has the ball, and Griffin has a second. This will be given under the posts, and it's another Salford try. Referee has given it.
With 2 nominees for try of the season inside the space of 10 minutes. It's incredible, the confidence of playing. It looks as though they've got more players on the field than the Catalan Dragons, the space that they're finding out wide. And the confidence there, that's clearly a backward pass, and it's kicked there by Niall Evans. Play on, says the referee, and the Salford side are aware of that. He kicks it on again a second time, off the side of the right foot, bounces up to Hastings, and he's aware that there's somebody, just somehow a sixth sense tells him there's a player on the inside. Flicks the ball back. George Griffin's done remarkably well here to be up with play, because this has gone fast. There aren't many white shirts around, as Jackson Hastings spins over his right shoulder, flicks it back inside, and the only man there is the man who scores his second try today, George Griffin. Puts it under the post and makes this conversion easier. Well, boy, oh boy, is this 30 points, and amazing they've racked them up so quickly.
Extraordinary start to the second half. CO tags on 2 more points, but another extraordinary try. Look at this.
I think this is one of those break your heart tries for the Catalan Dragons. Looking at the players here now, every team concedes, but when you concede in this manner, it does more than just put 6 points on the scoreboard. It's a big test here now with the character of the team. 30 points to 0 down. There's over 30 minutes left in the game.
Well, Salford have suffered some pain on this ground with some big scores put on them, notably that 44-10 scoreline last July. They've lost 38-6 on this ground as well in 2017. They also shared in that 40 points all draw. But here it is them giving the punishment, and the Dragons on the receiving end. And the Catalan, they just can't find a way back into this game. They can't get hold of the ball. Have they had the ball in possession in the second half?
Well, they have, and when they've had it, it's been near to their own try line. They're trying to make some ground forward, but
stand up, Josh.
Determined defence. Look at them here now. They're all wanting to move forward. As Griffin gets up to halfway line, quick play the ball. Lussick and Cole, they'll be kicking here.
Louis, here is Jansen Turgut, Chris Wellham. Matty Smith eventually gets hold of him, assisted by Kenny Edwards. Fifth tackle.
Goal 5.
And Hastings lobs a kick up into the air. Tompkins comes to claim it.
Surrender!
And Turgut then claims him. Lewis Tierney now.
2. Move! Goal 2.
Well, there's almost an element of shock here as Yaha runs it forward. The nature and the quality of the tries, the timing of them from the Salford side in the second half. A penalty for Yaha, wrestling around with the players. Tompkins wants to take it quick. I can't blame him here. got to get on with this to rebuild some of their own confidence.
So a penalty buys some territory for the shell-shocked Dragons. Busquets offloads.
Play on!
And Gudemon picks up the pieces. Here is Bird now.
One. Move!
There's time, isn't there? If they could turn the tide, but you can't.
There's
it's
no
hard to see it
indication of-
happening.
Well, we've not seen anything from the attack that's looked fast enough to score one try, never mind 6.
Well, can they maybe find a way through here? Braden Williame, their major threat, well dealt with by the Red Devils rear guard. Wellham hobbling away there, bang on the knee for him. Busquets gets the pass to Samisoni Langi. Gudemon now, inching their way towards that Salford try line. 4 tackles gone. Back in field to Bird. Bird trying to bulldoze his way over. It's the 5th. The ball with Matty Smith. Smith puts a little grubber kick in.
Steps.
I have to say the chase wasn't exactly enthusiastic, was it?
Up, shot clock on.
Well, they had him under pressure, didn't they? A good kick off the left foot from Smith. I think it was a right-footed kicker. Delicate soft kick there behind the line. Salford get their breath back here. They didn't really ever look stressed, did they? I think it was a ricochet. Now Laval's grounds in goal. You can hear the Salford supporters cheering. I don't think they can believe they've never been in a position like this.
Well, they haven't been in this position in a long time in Perpignan, looking for their first win in 8 visits.
Backwards. Okay.
And they are well on the way to that. Gudemon now. Product of Catalan's system, Mikel Gudemon's. Very highly rated. Samoa.
Stand! Hold your way,
50 minutes gone.
Goal 2.
30-0, the Salford lead. Matty Smith. Tompkins, but Wellham very quickly closing him down.
Goal 3.
Langi. Here is Greg Bird.
Well, they've now got Greg Bird playing as a standoff, Langi as a hooker.
4.
Smith's obviously the scrum half, and Tompkins out wide here now trying to be the fullback and link.
Back, Greg.
Samoa's pass, and it was forward. How many of those have we seen?
Well, we've seen some poor passes and we've seen some forward passes. We've seen a lot of passes too where the defenders were so far away they didn't really make any effect. So we've got a few things there they have to fix up. It's a shame. I'd love to see one big man passing to another. We've got to find him with the legitimate pass. And it was an instant call from the officials.
Shot clock's on, fellas. Don't put it in until I tell you to. Shot clock's on. Time's off. Shot clock's on.
Well, this is,
Come on, let's
we've had
go.
some amazing results so far in Super League this season, but I'm sat here now looking at this and trying to imagine any other. I know the London Broncos victory against Wakefield and then against Wigan, but nothing of this scale or magnitude. It's amazing what Salford have done in 50 minutes.
It's a demolition job, isn't it? With the bonus of, certainly in the second half, a couple of amazing tries, one at the end of the first half as well.
Yeah, you sometimes get some lucky tries, some tries from kicks, and that sometimes distorts the scoreboard, but this hasn't been the case here. Salford's quality, tactics and execution's been excellent. And you wonder if they can maintain the concentration, how many more points, how many more tries they can come up with.
Hold this line, hold this line.
You can see on the sidelines there the advertising hoarding, the grand final, Old Trafford, October the 12th. And a lot of people saying Catalan Dragons maybe after their Challenge Cup success last year could be in the frame, but on this evidence it's the Red Devils who look more of a threat in that respect. This guy's looked a threat. Niall Everalds really has run the Salford, the Catalan cover ragged. Jackson Hastings has been in there as well. Hastings weaving his way around. Bibby looking for 3. Hastings will get 1.
Okay.
Another fantastic try from this Salford side, keeping that ball alive. And Jackson Hastings, his second of the season,
Well, look, spinning out of tackles. It's looking so one-sided now, this contest. Jake Bibby, I wondered before the game whether he had the skills and the ability to play as a left centre. He's been the best centre on the field, and he's kept this alive again on the inside. Flicks the ball out the back of his hand, a bit like Martin Gleeson used to do in his pomp. And Sam Moa, he just can't believe the scoreboard. And neither can they. Look, they're in absolute delight.
Say something if I know that you can.
I mean, never in the wildest dreams, I mean, probably some of the Salford supporters might not have even expected to win. The bookmakers before the game had the Catalan Dragons winning this game by about 10 to 12 points. Such was the form of these two teams and the quality of players that they have on show. But the Salford team have just torn that up.
And the thing is, Jake Bibby's in there because of Junior Sau's absence. Talk about taking your chance. Kencio just across the face of the post. Second miss of the game for him. But they haven't missed many other opportunities, have they, this Salford side?
Well, Catalan have to ask if they're able to fix up on the sideline some of the Salford staff. Ian Watson with his back to us, Paul Heighton. Don't need to send too many messages on. It's going about as well as it could go.
Time up. When you're ready, Sam.
Yes, Junior Sau absent, Lee Mossop absent. So they were slightly below strength going into this game, but the likes of Jake Bibby and now Adam Lawton have come in, and Salford have responded. 34-0 they lead, and plenty of time for them to just heap the pain on the Catalan Dragons. That's forward.
Well, before the game, these two sides, I know Salford have played one game more, but if you look at the points difference on the league table, they were both at -8. They conceded 8 points more than they'd scored in the 4 or 5 matches they'd played. But boy, doesn't look much they could compare these two sides with today. Adam Lawton fresh on the field, wants to get involved as much as he can. He's had limited opportunities to play at the Super League level since he made his debut, I think almost 6 years ago in Super League at Widnes.
He went off to Australia to play for Redcliffe in the Queensland Cup. Now back in the British game, getting his chance.
One, move! Back, Joey, go one.
Edwards plays the ball. Catalan looking to avoid the embarrassment of being nilled on their own patch.
Release! Go two.
Here is Sam Moa, Matty Smith, but they run straight into that wall of Salford defenders. Jansen Turgett completing the tackle.
Okay.
The pass dribbles across the field into the arms of Sam Moa. Samisoni Langi. Short pass from Matty Smith to Julian Bousquet. They sure have missed the creativity of Tony Gigot. Again, a poor pass and a groan from the Catalan supporters at that. And Bird's kick.
I'm unsure whether Michael McElroy was injured or whether the coach has just taken him from the field. But clearly the passes from Samisoni Langley aren't accurate enough when you're trying to importantly get the ball away from that play the ball area and do something to entertain your fans and to put some confidence back into your team and score some points.
More Super League action to look forward to on Sky Sports next week, and the Huddersfield Giants, fresh from their win at Wigan, take on the leaders St Helens. Thursday 7 o'clock, Sky Sports Arena for that. And Wigan looking to bounce back after that defeat, looking to get their season heading in the right direction, head to the Warrington Wolves. They're calling that one Bad Blood. That's the marketing strategy in the Wire camp. But 7 p.m. Sky Sports Arena for that game. Wigan will be desperate for the win there. Lussick, and Emmels is in for another Salford try. And Catalan just cannot contain this dazzling Salford attack. And Niall Evalds, who has been at the heart of so much that Salford have created, gets his name on the score sheet.
Well, I think when you look back at this, you have to say that the Catalan tackles just aren't strong enough. They can't stop the ball. They can at the best stop the man, but then the ball's kept free. Well, he's just about holding on to the shorts. Flick past to Lussick, back to Evalds, and he looks like a clinical finisher, doesn't he? He's put himself into the right position. They keep looking at that scoreboard on the big screen in the corner, but it's not doing them any favours. Speechless, absolutely speechless. Sam Moore and co. They've been ripped apart here by a team who don't have the resources or on paper the squad of players to even challenge to be in the top half of this table. Ian Watson and his staff are doing a remarkable job here. Ken Suyo's just enjoying some goal kicking practice.
He's back on target with that one after Niall Evalds gets his 5th try of the season. And Salford on course for a big win here.
Well, they need to hit the control-delete button here, the Catalan Dragons, and completely start again, because they're just chasing the ball at present. Some brave efforts, but they're all in isolation.
When you're ready, Sam.
40 points to 0. People just joining us would think there must be a problem with the scoreboard when they see that scoreline. Nobody could have imagined it. I don't think Adam Lorden could have either, really, when he dreamt of coming off the subs bench. Oh, I hope I get on the field, and I hope we're doing okay. They're doing better than that with an hour gone.
2, move, Ben! Stand up.
And they've hardly made an error, Salford.
Well, the worrying thing now for the Dragons is just how many tackles they're missing. They're dropping off so many. I know they've had to do a lot of defending, but they've also had a lot of time to rest behind the post. And Evalds again trying to find the pass for Alfords. Can he get on the outside? Keeps the ball alive to Wellham, but that's a knock-on.
Time off.
Hastings though, look, straight away the thoughts turn to defending.
Shot clock on. Scrum.
There's no sign of just being content with where they sit at present. They're driving on. They want to be an 80-minute team, regardless of what it says on that scoreboard.
Real statement this is from the Salford Red Devils. And what a place to make that statement. And one of the hardest away trips, as Warrington discovered last week.
I agree, very hard, but I think one of the most enjoyable away trips if you win, and win in this sort of performance. Well, they hope we get delayed for 2 days coming on, probably, because they'll enjoy one another's company and reliving the memories of some of the magnificent tries and brilliant defence that they've shown us today.
Here is Remy Casti, normally at the forefront for his Catalan side, but hardly seen anything of the Dragons' attack. This is where Gigo has been such a crucial miss. But this puts Salford in good heart for their next assignment. Another tough away trip. They've got to go to Castleford next time out.
Well, we all know that confidence is one of the most important things in sport. You simply can't buy it, but you can build it on the back of a performance like this. Great skills there from Hastings. Kept the ball alive for a while. Just wait for this clock to tick down here before they defend again, but you wonder who amongst the Catalan team here now is going to orchestrate, communicate what they plan to do in this next set. Ball's gone to Smith.
Matty Smith underneath it, and Lambert Belmas is on. Lambert Belmas, I beg your pardon. 21-year-old making his first appearance of the season. Bousquet, bit of an old campaigner compared to Belmas. Still only 27, Julian Bousquet.
Didn't seem to have the spring in the step that we've seen him at his best. Those 3 of the 6 players gone, with forwards just carrying the ball. Lange has a go on his own.
4
tackles gone, and Samisoni Lange is brought down in the shadow of those Salford posts. Matty Smith dinks the kick over the top, but well dealt with.
Drop out.
Well, that's a worry in a way, though, isn't it? The best hope is a kick and hope at the end of a set. There's still a tackle left after this, but he's decided to put the ball in the air. Can't find a way through this Salford defence. So they'll receive the ball again and hope for the best.
Shot clock still on, fellas.
Catalan have been pretty tight at home. I think they've only conceded 12 tries in 4 games.
Clock off.
They've conceded 7 in this game already. Belmas again. Oof, upended penalty.
Ben.
Well, there's going to have a warning from the referee. And Nakamura just put him in a dangerous position. Sometimes you do see this sin bin. I mean, luckily for everybody here, he pulls out of it. But it is a very, very
bad
position that he ends up in.
I'm here. You need to be careful. Okay? Tackle technique, off you go.
So Nakamura gets off with a
What are you doing, tapping it?
talking to.
Yeah, very lucky not to be yellow carded there. We don't want to see that in the game. Avoid serious injuries whenever we can.
Here is Casti. Legs driving, but unusually not really going anywhere. Matty Smith. Lawton with the tackle on him. Bird's pass.
Great tackle by Louis.
But Edwards has got away.
Move, Johnson!
Kenny Edwards almost got through. They'll get another penalty. Do you know, I think that's the first bit of sustained pressure on the Salford line in this second half.
Well, lots of teams have run at Robert Louis, and in some games he hasn't been strong enough, but he's held up to very well with Kenny Edwards. We've had a goal line dropout, we've had 2 penalties. They couldn't hope for better pressure attacking the opponent's line. And they find the play to get over it.
Busquet trying to get away from Josh Jones. Short pass for Belmas, but there are numbers there for Salford, right under their own posts. Matty Smith now. Smith fires the pass away. Oh, and it's batted down.
Touch.
Even denying them there. Daryl Alforts gets a hand in the way.
Well, it was the best attacking play that they've put on, wasn't it? Long ball first to Smith. Cut out, goes past 2 players. Cut out the fullback. It's like a tunnel pass, isn't it? In between 2 other players. Hits the 3rd one. But the Salford winger read the situation and just did enough to stop that try. There's a 30-second break here. Salford trying to suck in as much oxygen as they can.
10 seconds, come on, let's go.
Before they have to resume or receive a penalty against them for wasting time.
You on the St Helens Marathon tomorrow, won't it?
Well,
sucking in as much oxygen as you can.
It's not a marathon, it's a St Helens 10k, but they've lost possession here.
And Dudson will bring it away. 10k.
Yeah, it'll be a big race between me, Barry and Terry. They're running like 9 levels, I think.
Who will?
Barry, he's the favourite.
I thought Terry was the favourite.
Well, he's chance, but I think Barry's the favourite. Dark horse lost a lot of weight for this.
Are you deliberately playing down your chances?
No, I'm not at all. But here we go again with Salford at Evals. Louis, wow, this is just exhibition rugby here now. Oh, he's flicked it alive.
Oh, Wellham can't take it, and Fuad Yaha will counter.
0. Move, 0.
Just got a bit carried away there, but they've got every right to.
You can understand it. They've scored some spectacular tries, and they must just feel as though they're coming so freely. Matt Flanagan now back on the pitch. Less than 15 minutes to go. No question of the commitment for the Catalans, but you need more than courage. You need combinations of players to work together. I thought there was going to be a penalty there. Right to high tackle from Lawton, but the referee says play on.
44-10, Salford lost on this ground last year. 14-0.
High tackle.
They are leading here. Jackson Hastings penalised.
No.
Greg Bird just shrugs that off.
No quicker than any other time, Matty.
To be fair, just rode up, didn't it, from Hastings?
Well, the Dragons need a try. They're desperate for a try here.
Back with me.
For their own sanity and their own supporters. They've got to put some points on the board. You have to feel it's coming now. Had several minutes here now with the ball. Lange asking who to give it to.
He gives it to Jason Baitieri.
Move, Adam!
And they'll get a penalty, will Catalan.
He's got to put them on a warning here. It just feels like there's too many.
Mark, too many penalties now, mate.
Word for
He'll
word.
sort it out, okay?
From
too many
Scott
variants.
Mikolauskas.
You're tapping it. Right there.
So an opportunity for the Catalan Dragons to at least avoid a nilling
One move, Gil!
on their own domain. Lange. Here's Matty Smith now. Smith for Kenny Edwards, but Edwards has been watched like a hawk by this Salford defence. Could have had another penalty there, could Catalan. Lange gets the pass away to Bird. Casti, I beg your pardon.
Offside.
And it is another penalty, and now they will be on a warning.
So it was a warning that they were going to go on a warning. They're now on a warning.
Right there. On the line,
Sure about
Gil.
that?
I'm not so sure that makes sense, but
here's Casti.
He does all he knows he can, doesn't he? He goes hard and strong for the line.
Try scorer last week, Remy Casti, in more memorable circumstances. Baitieri. But it's a very hesitant Catalan attack. It's lacking its normal fluency. Lange's pass. Belmas.
Move, Mark!
Under the crossbar virtually. Lange will try and force his way over. And he's held up, says the referee.
Tackle 4.
Or is he?
I've got no try held up. Can you check the grounding, please?
Well, it's almost an embarrassment and an indication of how Catalan are attacking. Their best hope of scoring is a player picking it up and diving it over from there. They're not really confident. Clearly the ball's held up over the line, so it's no try. But they've lost any confidence or cohesion in how to attack the opponent's line with any belief. Perhaps we need to ask the question, what's been the greatest thing about Salford today? Their attack, we've seen all those spectacular tries, or their defence? And the more I'm thinking about it, maybe the defensive aspect of the game has been even more eye-catching and more impressive than what they've done in attack, as this spins, the players spin the wheel, but it'll end up on a red.
Well, generally a coach will take more pleasure from a nilling, won't he, from nilling opponents than for scoring a shed load of tries.
But, well, I think you should take a combination of the both here, because they're going to keep the rate scoreless again for this set.
Well, they have been helped by some pretty erratic Catalan attacking.
They have, but I think very often Salford have had the right plays in the right position, so when earlier on, before they lost all of the confidence, the Catalan team, they weren't running into gaps. Salford's organisation and efficiency around the defence has been equally as impressive as some of the tries that were just remarkable.
Here is their captain, Mark Flanagan.
Hold. Goal 2.
He's made over 200 career appearances, Mark Flanagan, including that stint in the NRL. Here is Ken Seo back in the British game.
Surrender! Stand! Goal 3.
And 11 minutes now on the clock. Josh Jones buzzing along the halfway line. Robert Louis, Jansen Turgett. Turgett is tackled by Whitley. Referee tells him to play the ball.
Tackle 4.
4 tackles gone. Louis.
5. Move over!
Up to the 40-metre line. And then Louis drills the kick. They'll keep it down that end of the field, and they'll be intent on making sure that 0 stays next to the Catalans' name.
Well, they've had control of this game. I think maybe the French people thought that was a forward pass. The referee and touch judges didn't. And it means yet again, you look back, I'm sure both of the coaches will analyse the number of times that Catalan have started a set 10 metres or so from their own try line. The more often that you can do that, the greater chance you've got of winning. And Salford have done so many things well. But controlling whether opponents begin a set of 6 is one of the ones that certainly built the platform, built the foundations for what has been a remarkable, arguably the most remarkable result of the Super League season so far. And there might be more points yet to come for Salford, because Greg Bird has been adjudged to have knocked on at the play of the ball. We're inside the last 10 minutes. and this mob haven't given up hope of scoring again yet. They want some more spectacular tries. I don't know, it's a wobbly play, the ball, but I don't know if it's an illegal one.
Come on, fellas, on side, boys.
8 years since Salford won at the Brutus.
Not until I tell you to, okay?
So I would imagine that this victory will be heartily celebrated.
Get in, Sam!
I'm just going to see what they put on there. One of the sides who like to attack from scrums. They don't waste these opportunities. Centres and wingers are given an opportunity to take their opponents on one-on-one.
Talk about taking your chance. That man has Jake Bibby. And Gil Dudson, I think he helped set the platform, didn't he, early on in the game. Dudson and co really took it to the Catalan side, and they haven't stopped taking it to them.
Held up, tackle 3.
Lussick looking for a second try.
Yeah, surprisingly, Gil Dudson and co, as you point out, Bill, were sensational at the start. With the strong men who set the tone for players like Lussick to score from. Now Louis and wide. Look, Turgott, it's been impressive since he gone. The move to Salford seems to have suited him.
Oh, Louis was looking for the pass there. He does get it, but for a moment it looked as though it might open up. Little kick goes in.
Louis Tini does his best to put the ball over the dead ball line. Salford will get the ball back. But the ability to keep the ball alive in the tackle has to be a concern for the Dragons. They've got to be able to stop doing that, otherwise they're always going to be under pressure. And it was Bibby again sniffing down the back of Louis Tierney, hoping as Louis and Hastings dot across the field, stay on side the first thing, wait for the kick, and then be the first to it. But it was Tierney who had that one covered.
Okay.
Jansen Turgott again, trying to almost replicate what Josh Jones does on the left-hand side of the field, bouncing around plays, making himself hard to stop, and keeping the ball alive if at all possible.
One, move, Kenny!
Last 10 minutes, 8 minutes. And Salford in complete control.
Come on, Ben! Stand up!
As they have been from virtually
stand up, Gil.
the word go in this game. Louis' pass, batted on and away from the reach of Olfert's.
All up. Yeah.
Generally, those things have come off for Salford.
Well, they have. Again, maybe some credit here to the Catalan defence. They got up and closed him down. Fuad Yaha reduced the amount of time that your opponents have to catch and pass. And the ball's been forced over the side, but you can see how hard the Catalan team have worked. They're breathing hard, worked hard, but too often they've been too slow to get to where they need to be.
Out!
Catalan with a difficult away game to come next Sunday. Hull Kingston Rovers, a game you can actually see on Sky Sports tomorrow afternoon, part of a double bill.
All up.
Toronto Batley, the other offering. That's next Sunday afternoon.
Well, Bibby almost gets his hand into the pass from Tompkins. Still throwing them, trying the best.
Jake Bibby on a hat-trick.
Let's go. Come on, shot clock's on. Nail! Nail! Okay.
George Griffin on a hat-trick as well.
Out! Josh, come on. One. Move! Hold. Go one.
Well, Sam Tompkins now getting his hands on the ball more.
There you go, that's official now. 2:55 it is. Sky Sports Arena for Hull Kingston Rovers against the Catalan Dragons, and followed by Toronto against Batley. That's at 5 o'clock, that game. And the Bulldogs halt the progress of the Wolfpack.
4. Move, Josh!
Here it has been all Salford in this contest at Stade Gilbert Brutus. Very quiet, well, certainly from the French point of view, very quiet. But the Salford fans, those that have made the journey to Perpignan, they will be celebrating into the evening, having watched their sides end this long wait for a win in Perpignan.
Surrender!
They came close in 2015, 40-40 the scoreline on that day. They've got 40 on this visit. The opposition haven't.
Well, they've remembered to tackle this time, hasn't it? That's maybe what they learned from 3 years ago.
Goal 3.
they've just had players, whenever the Dragons have put on an attacking player, like we just saw them with the switch and then the kick from Tompkins, it's just been somebody in a black jersey there to close it down or receive possession.
Here is Gil Dudson.
5.
Catalan can point to a number of absentees through injury, notably Tony Gigo, but they still have struggled to contain this Salford side in the mood that they have been in today.
Look at that on the last tackle. They've kicked it. Now, will the referee have judged that it was played at by a Catalan player?
Catalan ball, thank you.
Not played at, I should say. And the Dragons will get possession, but they're almost trying the magic plays here now on the last tackle. Hastings and Louis, they know they've got time and space and the freedom here now just to explore and trial things. Steve McNamara sitting in the coach's box.
Shot clock, top, fellas.
It'll be a difficult week for him.
Heads in, okay, shot
That's
clock,
it, to ride the highs and lows throughout the season. And we'll see them at Hull KR next Sunday. We've got a week to regather, rebuild, come out with a much better offering.
They'll hope to have Gigo back for that game at Hull Kingston Rovers.
Okay.
Kick by Tompkins in down behind CO. Look, cleverly keeps the ball alive and keeps in the field of play.
Stand back. Play the ball. Go 1. 2.
That's Tompkins with the tackle. Could have been penalised for that one. Wellham.
3. Move, Jason!
Late in the day for Catalan to be as that enthusiastic.
It's better than not, though, isn't it? You know, it might look like frustrated defence, but you want to see some commitment.
40.
And it forces Hastings to kick from deep. They could have done with that earlier on.
Look at that chase.
Yep.
Look at the chase.
Surrender!
Daniel Murray, Robert Louis, Hastings, and several others. The first there, not many white shirts back. I think when they can get Robert Louis to want to be one of the better defenders, get him really interested in defending, stopping Kenny Edwards and co on this side, and we know what they can do in attack.
3. Move!
Holding out their opponents has been the test, and they've done it for 77 minutes. On every, you'd have to guess they're probably going to get to 80.
They will be so annoyed now, will Salford, if they concede in the last few minutes here.
Well, it's highly unlikely. It's more chance of Gil Dudson
0. Move
getting upfield. They look like the more likely team to score. There's no pressure on them. There's a freedom which can play in attack. Not so sure they're still pushing up now enough around the ball. They're not desperate to score.
Move, Ben! Hold!
By Thierry, a weary tackle from the Catalan Dragons, loose forward.
2.
Hard day at the office for the Dragons. Oh, what a cruel thing sport is. I mean, this time last week they were celebrating the achievement of beating Warrington. And here they are, really being put to the sword, and being more put to the sword as CO cruises in. And he'll come round under the posts and put the cherry on the cake for the Salford Red Devils with that try. Again, the Salford handling impeccable.
Well, Jake Bibby's looked like a world-class centre with his ability there to get on the outside of his opponents. Now, Sam Tompkins has got to keep it together here. They know that the season's still got a long time to go. You can't throw it all away, but just look at this. Gets outside, and then the one-handed flick there to his wingman. What brilliant centre play. And I think a perfect try to finish off what's almost been a perfect performance here from the Salford side. Look at that, brilliant skill, wonderful timing, and he brings it closer to the post here now to just make his conversion easier. This should get to 46. I don't think they'll hit the 50, but even without that, it's still been an embarrassing day here for Catalan. Got a heck of a lot of working, talking, and improving to do in 7 days before we see them in East Hull.
So CO converts his own try. And is that 8? Try number 8?
I think it is. I'm almost losing count. They've had that many. Look at this. Flanagan, first pass. Hastings teases them. And then it's Evans, who's played well as a fullback. He knows when to give an early ball to his centre. allow his teammates to show what they can do, not always have to take the ball and deliver it right at the line. Oh, the tops are off here now. Look at this. I don't know if the Salford players, supporters, have ever seen a better away victory than this in their entire lives.
46-0.
1. Move, Jason!
And that's probably the last points on the board for Salford. Although they'd love now to get to 50.
Well, I think they've accepted. They've declared here now at 46.
46. The declaration. Wellham takes the tackle from Whitley. And Scott Mikulauskis sounds the final whistle. 8th try, rounding off that 46-0 Salford win. What a performance from Salford, and a performance that has been dotted with some superb tries right from the start of this second half, Phil. They have scored some absolute peaches. As you said, contenders for try of the season already.
Well, when we get to the end of the Betfred Super League, I'm certain we'll be seeing some of these tries again. There were so many. The one at the end of the first half was pretty good, but this to me topped it off. It was a wonderful way to start the second 40. Jake Bibby there, just showing the endeavour, the enthusiasm and the confidence that Salford have brought to this game here today. Wonderful skill, in and away, teased the defence. Sam Tompkins did all that he could, but with 2 men running at him, he couldn't close them down. And that certainly extended the lead at that point. It was Bibby again then. Look, gets on the outside, that flick on the inside is wonderful, and then to bend and kick the ball, he took his hands away from it, Evans, intelligently. He knew he couldn't get it there, then the right foot clicks it over, tips over the side. Jackson Hastings bounces up kindly, and his awareness, I just wasn't sure how he knew that the big GG was on the inside coming in for his second. Here, a change of direction. Spinning out of tackles is one of the things that the Salford side have done successfully today. Bibby keeps it alive, back to Hastings for another try on the inside, and it's the fullback who we see. A contender clearly for the man of the match. This ball's kept inside, and Lusick finds Evans, who put himself into so many good positions today. Well, the final try for Salford, eventually after this one, I should say there again, we see Josh Jones keeping that alive, back to Lusick, and Evans scores. This was the penultimate one, and the final one to cap it all off, well, it's appropriate it would go wide to the left-hand side of the field, where Jake Bibby teased it on a plate there for the left winger Ken Seo, and that caps off what has to be their best performance in the last 10 years.
Whoa, certainly their best performance ever in Perpignan. It is their first win in 8 visits, their first win since 2011 on that ground. Here are the results so far in round 5 then. Warrington 24, Castleford
Be first. Drive electric. The smart EQ for 2 and for 4. Now with 3 years free servicing.
Smart.
I haven't seen this one yet.
What is wrong with you people?
Don't miss out. Take your pick of entertainment on us for 2 years, only with Vodafone Red Entertainment.
No, we haven't talked about it openly.
Prefer to keep it private.
This is a touchy subject.
Well,
We have had a few issues.
It isn't easy talking to your family about money, but it is important. The M word from Lloyd's Bank. It's good to talk about money.
Tipple. You could get Sipsmith Gin from Asda for £28. Or you could buy Lidl's multi-award-winning Hortus London Dry Gin, 4 bottles of tonic water, a bottle of award-winning Alini Prosecco Spumante, some deluxe hand-cooked crisps, salted peanuts, and some deluxe Sicilian olives. All for only £27.40 at Lidl. Just a tipple or tipples and nibbles. Big on quality, little on price.
A well-earned break awaits, but not before this team tries to whitewash Australia, something last achieved here by South Africa in 1971. And when you think England had only won 3 tests on Aussie soil before this tour, to win 3 in a fortnight would be some achievement. Plenty of intent and ideas. And power too, Cruz. Pick and drive through the middle.
Ball is available, play.
Youngs. So much energy here from the men in white. As expected at the start of the game, but they are really going for it. Makavunapola. He said they wanted to impose themselves on the Wallabies, and they're doing it all right. Here's Youngs working so close to the line. Dan Cole can see that line and cross it. England said they will have the edge. They will have the sharpness. Phipps. Skelton. Brought in for that ballast, that power. Ayla Petty and Toje. Falau somehow has kept going. Tamua. The space. There's men over. It's Foley. And Australia are back. Straight away. Phipps organising, McMahon, Foley, Falau. Well, Ayla Petty is going to score. All those metres that he's made, that time he just needed to go 2 or 3. Phipps comes this way now.
Skelton is having an impact, isn't he? Boy.
Jack Knoll. We reach the half-hour mark. Cruz, Watson. Now this might be his moment. He'll chip over the top. Mike Brown to take. Does. Mike Brown scrambles for the line. He's got there.
Bind. Set.
Here goes Billy Vunipola. He's going for the try line, and there's no doubt about that one. Vunipola powers off the back of the scrum, and that's what England wanted to bring right to the fore. Australia's 8 looking to punch holes a la Vunipola. Skelton balls back quickly again to Phipps. This will make England work really hard. Capu hands to fellow prop slipper. Australia look like they're coming back here. There's Hooper.
And Hooper's turn to touch the line. Did its best, but he was seen off on that occasion. Tamua. There he goes again, off to Falau. Well, that, to be fair to Tamua, was a little bit more than simple. Kerr. Ford going really wide. Jack Noel puts the foot down, turns back inside. The man who scored right at the end of the first test. England look for another here with this one in the balance.
The play, the penalty.
Kerr, George off his boot, falls on it, and Jamie George has scored. There's Foley. And you've got to admire the defiance. You really have. Phipps digs it out, and Nayaraboro gets his try. And he will miss, and there it is. Australia 40, England 44. But even more important than that incredible scoreline is Australia 0, England 3. And for a country that had never won a series on Australian territory before, that is how to put the record straight.
Enjoy Sky Sports Live. On all screens, on the go, and the best bits on demand.
Only Sky Cinema customers can see Serenity in their homes on the same day as it's released in cinemas.
Good to see you, John. My husband is joining me here tomorrow. I will give you $10 million to take him out on your boat and drop him in the ocean for the sharks.
Serenity, in cinemas and on Sky Cinema now.
The world's greatest players come face to face with one of the game's greatest challenges.
A lot of horrible tales, that hope. What a great, unbelievable scenes. That is the finest putt I think I've ever seen. Simpson's supreme at Sawgrass.
The Players' Championship starts this Thursday, live on Sky Sports The Players.
Sky Cinema presents a brand new premiere every day.
Back for more, huh?
Is everybody in position? Hit it! We played the same game of tag for 30 years.
Tonight, we'll see the woman I want.
How much do you love your family?
A brand new premiere every day.
That's what you get. Nice!
Only on Sky Cinema.
Now available on demand.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win. Or you die.
There is only one war that matters. And it is here.
Game of Thrones. Every episode available now with the ultimate on-demand pack.
The penultimate round, though, of the Women's Six Nations. Victory will give England the title, but it is the slam that they want today in Exeter. Italy stand in their way, also unbeaten. Kickoff is just after midday, live here on Sky Sports. A very good morning to you. The buzz around the Red Roses is real. 3 wins from 3, a maximum 15 points. They are the dominant force in European women's rugby at the moment, but of course only if that form continues. It's a very warm welcome as well to 2 ladies who helped take England rugby and the Red Roses to the top of the world in years gone by, World Cup winners Rocky Clark and Giselle Mather. You've seen it all, ladies, in the growth of this game, but Giselle, this is unique, isn't it?
This is fantastic. I mean, to have 10,000 people for a standalone game is just amazing. The environment and atmosphere here is fantastic. I've never been to Sandy Park before, and just the enclosure of the stands around, it's going to be a brilliant atmosphere. Already the crowd are warming up, and I think the girls are going to be so excited to play in front of this crowd.
Rocky, no one's played for England more than you have, so you've seen it all before. Have you seen this in the sense of occasion within the city and bringing the game to a new part of the country?
Oh, it's brilliant. I'm so pleased that we've managed to get the games around the country. The girls are going to be so excited for this, and you know, just being here myself is a wonderful occasion. You can hear the crowd going wild. It's great to be here.
Yeah, they're calling the teams back in. The final preparations are taking place, and of course, a day after International Women's Day, the buzz around women's sport generally is tangible, isn't it?
Well, it's about time, in my opinion, but you know, you look at all the women's teams, the netball team, Commonwealth champions, the footballers, what just won the She Believes Cup, cricketers are whipping India in the T20s at the moment. It's just fantastic, and you know, now we get to see the Red Roses charge on for a Grand Slam, and women's sport is now taken seriously, and I think that, you know, everybody's woken up to the fact that 50% of the population is female.